The dirty little secret of being quirky alone is that you can easily fall into something called romantic obsession. Now, this wouldn't make sense to most people because quirkyalones are very independent, self-sufficient types. The thumbnail definition of a quirky alone is someone who is okay with being single, wants to be in a relationship, but it has to be a really great one. So you don't date just for the sake of dating. So people see quirky alones and they think of them as very independent and very self-assured, very confident. But actually, the lived experience of being a quirky alone means that you can have very long stretches of being single, often longer than people who are not quirky alone. And then when you do find someone who seems to fit the bill and you have an exciting beginning of a relationship with that person, and then it doesn't work out, it's really easy to tumble into this thing that I call RO, or romantic obsession. Now, I first wrote about romantic obsession in my book, Quirky Alone, that came out in 2004. And I first lived my own RO for the first time when I was in college in the 90s. So I have a ton of experience with RO, with living it, with writing about it, and working with my coaching clients who have gotten into RO situations. So it's been really fascinating to me to realize that if you're quirky alone, you can have an RO problem when you're 18, or you could have a problem with RO when you're in your 40s or 60s. It's actually something that can continue as an issue that you have to deal with. Now, hopefully with time and self-knowledge and working on yourself, your ROs lessen and diminish. But still, it's something that's really there. So let me give you some of the signs that you might be dealing with an RO. Okay, something began. You met someone and it was just a really great beginning. A classic RO would be, it feels like the beginning of a romantic comedy in the beginning, or everything aligns and it's the person you were always waiting for. But then it just doesn't work out. Maybe it was a long distance thing and that person wasn't up for it, or that person just wasn't interested, or that person turned out to not have such great character actually, but something in you just really stuck with the beginning and you want it to continue. So you start obsessing and you're thinking about it all the time. You're constantly Googling or looking at his social media. You are spending too much time composing texts or drunk texting or any of these things. This person is just taking up way too much of your consciousness. And it becomes a fantasy that you can't get rid of. The way I describe it in my book is it's like you're playing an LP, an album record, and you're on a great groove in the record, but it keeps skipping and repeating. And it's those first moments in the relationship, and you can't get them out of your mind and move on. So usually I think when people are going through romantic obsession, it's not just about the object of your affection. Usually it masks something deeper within you that needs to be healed. It's actually not about that other person. It's about something within yourself that doesn't feel whole or doesn't feel capable of attracting a great relationship, or whatever it is, it's something else. It's really something historic within you that needs to be healed. So, there's a difference between just feeling anxious in dating, which I think is a thing, and full-on romantic obsession. So if you're one of these quirky alone types and you're just a great, independent, awesome person, but you've had one of these RO experiences, the first thing to know is you're not alone. It's kind of, these things can go together because you've been holding out and waiting for so long, and when it finally happens, it's like, oh my God, it's such a big thing. And second, there is hope. There is life beyond RO. I will tell you that I myself have greatly shortened any symptoms of RO that I feel myself. And the path of healing that RO tends to lead to something deeper that I or you really need to look at and heal, that has something to do with loving yourself and knowing that you are fully capable of and worthy of a loving relationship with a person who really will be there for you. So I guess there's two bits of advice that I have for you. If you're ROing about a person, it's not going to happen. I mean, maybe it will, because I don't know, but the great likelihood is that RO is the sign of something else that you have to work on within yourself. So think of it as a gift in a way that, okay, it's a sign that there's something here for me to heal about what I believe is possible for me in love. And then the second thing is to be gentle with yourself and kind and open up to explore what that might be with a therapist, with a coach. It could be me or it could be someone else. But know that, it's okay. It's not something that gets talked about a lot in society because we don't talk about the experience of being single for a long time. But this is a kind of rite of passage, and it can lead to something bigger and better for you. So that's what I have to tell you about ROs. And I wish you very short or non-existent ROs and great moments with yourself and other people in your life.